So hilariously, we have a three-way tie. So I chose protection because not only does Karokai want to see it, but it is my favorite aspect with my favorite heroes. So I figured we might as well just dive into it. Alrighty, so protection. Protection, we are going to be running a perfect defense strategy. And the way that we're going to be doing that, or the reason that we're going to be doing that is one, he has a really high defense. He has just a lot of ways to mitigate damage, and so that can lead into just a really solid perfect defense strat. There are a couple ways to do it, and I'm wondering if flow like water is going to come into play here, but the things that we definitely need to grab are going to be the it's hilarious, unflappable, hard to ignore. I haven't played perfect defense in forever. Unflappable, hard to ignore, armored vest, electrostatic armor. That should get us rolling. So unflappable, flow like H2. Oh, absolutely. Unflappable. We probably will be running that. Flow like water. Electrostatic armor. What else did I say? Armored vest. We are going to be running our gambit, ingenuity, the 3, Ironheart. We're gonna hang. We're not gonna. We'll throw Moon Girl in there just to have. I think that's probably going to be all the allies that we have. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have 15 cards left to go. We have hard to ignores. We want 3x of those. So we got 12 cards to go. And no, we need Jocasta. We need Jocasta. Jocasta is so solid in Spider-Man. So after she enters play, choose a defensive end in your discard pile and attach it to her face down, meaning we can grab a backflip. So Jocasta is going to be a third ally. Victor may be a good shot, but I think we're going to hold off on him right now. But let's go flow like water. Let's do the flow like water route. It's always fun to play. Flow like water. Alrighty, so that leaves us 11 spots for defense events. So let's see what we got. We're going to run 3x Desperate Defense. Just super solid. Really, really good there. We could run Dauntless, but I'm actually not 100% sure if we're gonna go with just a higher than starting hit point strategy. I feel like we could be pretty successful in that, but let's try that. Let's just try this. So we're gonna want, is that 2, 4, 6, 7. So I really like the new card that came in Ghost Spider Jump Flip. So when you take any amount of damage, prevent 2 of that damage. If you pay for this card using a lightning resource, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. So we'll definitely grab some of those. I normally like to run Never Back Down, but again, we're trying to avoid stunning. Nerves of Steel could be interesting here. I'm gonna just actually, we're gonna grab one more copy of Jump Flip just to throw it in there, because I don't want to be stressed out about threat just like I was last time. So that's 20 cards. So let's run Preemptive Strike. Because we are going to be flipping up a lot of boost cards, so Preemptive Strike we could probably hold on and use pretty effectively. We got 2 there. We could grab Perseverance if we want to flip a lot. However, in protection, I don't know if I want to actually be flipping all of that much. We could go What Doesn't Kill Me. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to fill it out with energy barriers. We're going to run 3x energy barrier just because that does help a lot. Not sure if it makes the cut, but target acquired could cancel star effects. That's really solid. That is really solid, especially against Venom, because he's got some nasty star effects. I do like energy barrier in here. I'm gonna pull these out and let me see if I can make room for a target acquired. Energy barrier does eat a lot of my defense events, but let's count those. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 defense events. That feels pretty solid for a flow like water strategy. Did you run Dauntless with perfect defense? It seems good. It does. I'm wondering how. Yeah, Dauntless probably does need to make it into this deck. I'm gonna cut Moon Girl. We'll run Moon Girl later. Probably do want Dauntless. If we're running Dauntless, then we may want to find. I'm gonna cut 1 Hard to Ignore. I'm having D20 flashbacks. He's in the first dude I saw playing perfect defense deck. Nice. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna run an Endurance just to solidify that Dauntless. I do really like the idea of running a target acquired though. I don't want to cut a defense event. Don't want to cut an ally. Could cut Ingenuity. I don't need as much money in this deck. Do I have 2 Flow Like Waters in here? I do. I'm cutting a Flow Like Water. We're going to throw a target acquired in there. Is bait and switch needed for threat mitigation? Sorry, I really knew at the game, so you're just asking. Bait and switch is actually really solid here. That's good. So bait and switch is where's bait and switch? Am I just blind? Is it a 2 cost? Bait and switch is really good. Bait and switch is really good, especially in. It's a 1 cost. Am I just. Am I crazy? Okay, I just didn't have it in my binder for some reason. Okay, yeah, all 3 copies are here, so that's a mistake. So bait and switch is really good for threat mitigation, and I like it because it does play into our strategy a little bit. So yeah, let's too many cards that I want to run. But really good call. I think bait and switch is probably a really solid play here. Okay, so if we want bait and switch in here, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 7. So we need 2 cuts. You'll probably get by without an endurance. Maybe without an ingenuity too. Yeah, we're gonna cut ingenuity, we're gonna cut endurance, and we're gonna run with it. Ship it, see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? We're gonna go a little bit more thematic. We're going goblin gimmicks for this modular set. So we'll shuffle all of that in and see what happens. Good call on bait and switch. Good call on bait and switch. The other thing that I really like about protection against Venom is that the damage dealt to Venom is increased by 1 from all sources, not just attacks when the bell is ringing. And so that means that, 1, it makes it for a really good perfect defense build because you have an additional buffer against that, which probably means I don't need energy barriers, but the energy barriers we're gonna use against minions. Let's say that. We'll probably use the energy barriers to help take care of some of the minions. And then the bell tower, if we're running a Dauntless, if we're running electrostatic armor, if we're running flow like water, typically that's 3 damage, but with the bell tower on ringing, it's actually going to be 6 damage. And so Venom is very susceptible to like a perfect defense build like that. So, oh man, I'm so excited. Spider-Man protection is one of the joys that I have in my life. That sounded like I had a sad life. That is absolutely not true. One of my favorite things in this game is Spider-Man protection, so I'm excited. I just picked up Scarlet Witch because I really like her as a character. Also got Doctor Strange just in time, just to get Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, Scarlet Witch is so much fun to play. I think she may be maybe one of the more fun heroes to play, just because she's so chaotic with her chaos magic, and she can, play Avenger Mansion for free, and it's just, oh my goodness, I have a lot of love for Scarlet Witch. I love her in pretty much every single aspect. Really, I don't know if I love her in green, but have you played with her yet? Have you been able to get her to the table? And Doctor Strange is really good too. Doctor Strange is probably I think undoubtedly the best character in the game right now. Sorcerer Supreme is just solid. Although I hear Wong has it now. Alrighty, so we've got 2, 4, 6 cards to start us out in Peter Parker mode. We've got an energy barrier, we've got a black cat, web shooter, jump flip, enhanced spider sense, and a webbed up. Okay, so we don't need a jump flip, we don't need an enhanced spider sense, we don't need a webbed up, so we will toss those. I don't know if we need a black cat. Not yet. Thursday, you have a group that plays in person every other. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, I'm excited. Are you part of the Discord? If not, I invite you to join. The link is in the bio. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how that game plays because she is a ton of fun. She is so much fun. I think. You just joined the Discord. Welcome. Hallelujah. Let's go with hanging on to Black Cat. We got a preemptive strike, we don't need that. Got a jump flip, we don't need that. And we got an energy barrier. Okay, we could use that. Okay. So starting out, we're going to toss a jump flip, use Genius to throw an energy barrier onto the table. And then we will toss a preemptive strike to play a web shooter. We don't really have trade or resource specific cards that we need in this deck, and so that's kind of good. We can just use those for the resources. We'll flip up, use this, toss Black Cat, and throw another energy barrier onto the table. We'll swing. We'll knock the top off. No, actually we're not. We're going to throw 2 chime counters on the bell counter. Okay. So we will ready. We've got Aunt May, Genius, Electrostatic Armor, Flow Like Water. Ooh, good. And a Swinging Web Kick. So no defense events, which is actually probably fine because I want to get Flow Like Water onto the table before I need to use those. So, okay. Starting out, we're going to place 1 here. Don't let Threat run away from me again. Yell at me to take care of Threat, please. And then Venom is going to attack me for 2 plus a boost card. We will just go ahead and defend this. We get to draw a card, which is unflappable, which is pretty much our build right there, right? So we've got a really solid build already. So 2, defending for 3, flipping up for 0, so we take 0 damage. So we are good. Our bad card is going to be Intimidation. Choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give the villain a face-down boost card. Well, this is actually kind of fun. This is kind of a fun thematic situation, right? Venom wants boost cards. This is just, that has the treachery that gives him boost cards. So we're just gonna give him a boost card. We'll figure that out. That's gonna be a problem for later. Okay. So we're gonna swing Web Kick to play an Unflappable. We're going to Aunt May to play Electrostatic Armor. I feel like if we need Aunt May, we're playing the deck wrong. And then we're going to Genius for a Flow Like Water. Okay, we'll stand everybody up. Desperate Defense, you'll love to see it. Bait and Switch. Energy Barrier, another one. Armored Vest, nice. And a Jump Flip. Okay, so this is great. This is really great. Okay. So starting out, we're going to place 2 here. We are going to have Venom attack us for 2 plus 2 boost cards. We'll go ahead and defend, and we will toss a Web Shooter. And the reason I'm doing this is, depending on what is coming at us, we may be able to play the Jump Flip to remove threat, or we may be able to play the Bait and Switch to remove threat. So really the only one that I would really like to get Energy Barrier to the table, but I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to. He did initiate the attack, so I do need a card, which is another Desperate Defense. And so actually in that case, we're going to hang on to our Web Shooter, and we're going to toss a Desperate Defense to play a Desperate Defense. So we're going to defend for 5 against his 2 and 2 boost cards. And remember, we have this here. So 5 plus 0 plus 2 and a boost. This is an attack against piercing. It is. So we defended for 5. He attacked us for 4. So we do get to ready from Desperate Defense. Flow Like Water will deal 1 damage, which will knock the tough off. The Electrostatic Armor that doesn't need to be exhausted. Will deal 1 damage to Venom. And Desperate Defense, defending desperately. Yes, absolutely. Love it. Venom's ability is only after an attack. And so since these Electrostatic Armors are not an attack, we don't have to do that. We'll exhaust Unflappable to go ahead and draw a Hard to Ignore. And this is why I love Spider-Man defense. Ah, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Okay. Our bad card is going to be Swinging Assault. Okay, here we go. The villain attacks you. The villain gets 1 additional boost card for that activation. So he's going to attack us. We get to draw a card, which is a Spider Tracer. We are going to... We probably should have held on to Desperate Defense, but here we are. So we're going to defend for 3. He's going to attack us for 2 plus 2 boost cards. And we do have a Jump Flip in hand. So it's going to be 2... Give the villain an additional boost card for this activation, so it's going to be 3, 4, 5. Resolve this card's win revealed ability. Remove 2 chime counters from the bell tower. If it's on its quiet side, take 1 damage. If it's on its ringing side, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So So I take 1 damage. I'm going to prevent 1 of that damage and throw it back at Venom with a energy barrier. Okay, and so I said 2, 3, 4, 5. I defended for 3, which is actually kind of nice. We're going to Spider Tracer a jump flip, so we'll prevent 2 of that damage and remove 2 threat. Okay, I like it. Okay, yeah. So we will continue to build out on our turn. We're going to toss an energy barrier for a hard to ignore. I feel like that's probably going to be a little bit more needy. And then we're going to toss a bait and switch for an armored vest. We'll just stack that under flow like water like that. We'll say we got +1 defense. So we're at 4 defense, which is pretty comfortable now for a perfect defense build. Does flow like water deal a damage? You are so right. It does. Thank you. Venom takes the damage and electrostatic armor deals the damage. So we're just going to ping away until he's dead. Okay, so we will ready. We will draw a web shooter, a Jocasta. We still don't have a backflip. A webbed up, swinging web kick. There's our damage. There's 4, and here's 5. There's a backflip. You love to see it. Okay, so we'll start out by placing 1 threat here on the main scheme. And Venom will attack us for 2. We're just going to take it straight to the face. So 2, remove 2 chime counters from the bell. I think I only removed 1 last time, but we take another damage, which I don't think I took last time. So I think I took it from the villain on accident. So we'll fix that in post. And then, oh, I didn't take a damage because I used energy barrier. That's right. That's why I gave it to him. And so we'll do the same thing. We'll fix that again. And then we will backflip. So when you would take any amount of damage, I forgot to draw a card again. Any amount of damage from an attack prevents all of that damage. So we would have taken 2. We're going to backflip. And the reason why I want to do that is it's not a lot. I could have prevented it with energy barrier, but I really wanted to activate this gambit. And so hard to ignore gets exhausted to remove 1 of here. Unflappable gets exhausted to draw a card, which is enhanced spider sense. And then flow like water and electrostatic armor will throw 2 damage back at Venom. So we're 10 to 10. Okay. I did draw an enhanced spider sense, so we keep that in mind as we're going into the encounter card phase. Regenerative healing. The villain heals X damage where X is equal to double the villain stage number. If none was healed, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So he heals 2. Okay. So let's see. We want to try and get... We're going to toss a preemptive strike in an enhanced, or in a webbed up. No, we're going to toss a preemptive strike to play a second copy of a web shooter. Perfect defense reminds me of the tortoise and the hare. I guess this is spider and the symbiote. Absolutely. Yes. Okay, so we got that there. And then we will we're going to toss enhanced spider sense, swing web kick, and webbed up for Jocasta. And when she comes in, we're going to go ahead and grab a backflip. So Jocasta is going to have backflip on top of her. So she is ready. We'll go ahead and just thwart with her for 2 to take these. And hopefully there's not anything that deals 1 damage to every ally or anything in here. I don't think there is, so I think we're going to be solid there. I'm going to flip this face up just so I remember it. And we will throw 2 counters on the bell tower with Spider-Man. Alrighty, so we will ready everybody. There's a backflip, there's a desperate defense. There's a Dauntless. Spider Tracer. And bait and switch. Alrighty. I like it. I really like it. So we got 1 here onto the main scheme. Venom's going to attack for 2 plus a boost card. We will take it right to the face. It's +1, and so that's 3. So we will go ahead and toss the backflip. We needed to draw a card. Swinging web kick. Okay, perfect. So toss the backflip. Unflappable triggers. We didn't take any damage. We got another hard to ignore. Electrostatic armor and a flow like water trigger. So that's 2 damage. And then hard to ignore triggers. So we're going to remove this threat. And now we're rolling with 6 cards. So, love it. We've got a encounter card, which is an advance. So the villain is going to scheme for 1 plus 2. So that's 3 threat there. Okay. So here we go. We are going to push and see what happens. Alright, so we're going to toss a Desperate Defense for a Dauntless. So that gives me Retaliate 1. We're going to exhaust and use one of these spider counters. Toss a Bait and Switch and a Spider Tracer to play a Swinging Web Kick to put 8 counters on the bell tower, which will flip it to its ringing side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's now on its ringing side. So he takes an additional damage. Then we'll use the other Spider Tracer to throw down a second copy of Hard to Ignore. This is where the fun begins. Alrighty. So we will ready everyone up. Spider-Man will take 1 off of here. I don't want to be attacking Venom. I want to avoid attacking Venom because I don't want more boost cards. So we're just going to inefficiently thwart. But all of our damage is going to be coming from defending and defense events and retaliates now. So even the energy barriers are preventing 1 throwing 2. So those get really solid. Bell tower, we now have a buffer of 10 health. We are at full health, and so we can trigger all of our Dauntlesses and everything. There's our doubles. I was wondering where those were. Hey, Black Hat and an Ironheart. Sweet. Okay, and a Bait and Switch. Nice. Okay. So starting out, this is an encounter card. Starting out, we're going to place 1 threat on the main scheme. Venom is going to attack for 2. What are we going to do here? I think we're just going to use the backflip here on Jocasta. So yeah, we'll just take it. So 2 plus put Enraged Symbiote and play engaged with us. So we'll backflip there. So that will trigger everything. I needed to draw a card. I always forget to draw a card. So unflappable triggers, so we'll draw a card here. 2 hard to ignore triggers, so 2 threat comes off the main. I played a defense event. I have Retaliate and Dauntless. All of those deal 1 additional damage, so that's 6 damage. So that takes him down to 4. And then the Enraged Symbiote is going to attack, and none of those were attacks, which is pretty important to remember because we do have a guard and a patrol. So hard to ignore is not a thwart. And so that's a reason that we can take that. 6 damage and you didn't even attack. Yeah, that's why I love this build. It's so much fun. Enraged Symbiote is going to attack. We will go ahead and energy barrier both of those to just get rid of it. We don't need it in our lives. Okay. Sweet. So now we're doing encounter phase. We got 2. The villain schemes. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And then, hey, look at that. Another Enraged Symbiote. Just what we wanted. Just what we ordered. Perfect. Okay. So this is what I like. 2, 4, 6, 7 card hand in hero form. It's dirty. It's so dirty. Okay, so we'll just hit the Enraged Symbiote for 2 here. We're going to Energy for Ironheart. We'll draw a card, which is a webbed up. Then we will Strength for a Black Hat. So after you play Black Hat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Each card with a printed mental resource added to your hand. So not a mental, but it is a backflip, which is sad to see go, but that's fine. So here we go. Okay, so we will swing with Ironheart and Black Hat. Ironheart takes the damage, Black Hat does not, which will take us into the next stage. So Venom round 2, which will bring out, I think we already saw it, Tooth and Nail. Comes in with 8. Two, 4. We'll just do this. I got a 5er. Now he's tough as well. And he has 2 boost cards from the 2 attacks there. We are going to exhaust Web Shooter. No. This is what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and kill off Jocasta. We're going to attack Venom with Jocasta to go here to knock off this tough. And we get another boost card. And then we will toss Bait and Switch, Webbed Up, and Desperate Defense for a swinging web kick to deal 9 damage to Venom. And I'm sorry, I didn't reset his health, but he's at 18. 9 takes him down to 9. And then that will also remove Tooth and Nail. Okay. There we go. So we'll stand up. We will draw. Hey, there's Aunt May. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I may need some more defense events in this deck, but here we are. Could have sworn Venom doesn't get a boost from Jocasta's attack because he didn't take damage. You are so very correct. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to place 1 threat here on the main scheme. He's going to be attacking us for 2 + 3 boost cards. He initiates an attack, so we'll draw a card, which is a swinging web kick, which is kill. And we have so many buffers here that I'm actually just going to roll with it. I'm just going to roll with it. So we're going to defend. So he's going to swing at us for 2 plus some attacks. So 2, 4, 5, 8. I defended for 3. We'll go ahead and remove these 2 energy barriers to take the damage dealt down to 6, and we throw 4 back at him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we take 6 off, and then because we played a defense, no, we didn't play a defense event, so we don't get to trigger Flow Like Water. But Dauntless and Electrostatic Armor do trigger, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Okay, so he's down to 1. Our bad card is going to be Now We're Angry, and then we'll swing web kick to kill him. There you go. That's perfect defense with Spider-Man. It's a very strong build, in my opinion. Probably one of my favorites of all time, but it does shine more against Venom because of that bell tower, because you can, 1, increase the damage dealt, the plink damage dealt, as well as you have the buffer for the perfect defense triggers. So it's a really good matchup against the perfect defense, and so there's that. Alrighty, so we have got 2 more games. We're just going to continue to push on through. We've got Justice and Leadership next. Whoever responds first, that's what we'll go with. If not, then we'll roll a dice. Do these deck lists end up on Marvel CDB? the the intent is yes, and I need to get better at that, but really what's been happening is I clean up before I forget to write them down. But yes, I will make a point to put these on CDB for and then put them in the description of the YouTube video. So yes, I will get better at doing that, but the last couple I've just forgotten about. A Spider-Man hero matches up well with a Spider-Man villain. Who would have thought, right? It's almost like they were made for each other. But no, I think villain's just a really fun matchup. He can be like kind of like high risk, high reward. I think he is a little bit easier in solo than in multiplayer, but I'm not complaining. Alrighty, throw in if you want to see leadership or justice next. If not, then I will just pick and we will have some fun. Okay, I'm gonna go to the be right back screen. See you in a second.